Have you ever tried to hold on to a moment, a perfect sunset, a feeling of pure joy, the sound of a loved one's laughter, only to feel it slip through your fingers like fine sand? This is the dance of our lives, a constant flow of arising and passing away. Our bodies change, our minds shift. The world around us is in constant motion. This is the truth of impermanence, not as a pessimistic curse, but as the fundamental rhythm of existence itself, and understanding this rhythm is the first step toward finding peace within the chaos. The ancient teachers of the East often spoke of a river. Imagine you are standing by its banks. The water flows past you, a seamless, continuous movement. You cannot step into the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and you are not the same person. This is not just poetry. It is a profound biological and psychological truth. Look at your body. This vessel you call me. It is a river of cells, constantly dying and being replaced. The skin you have today is not the skin you had a month ago. Your bones, your blood, the very air moving in and out of your lungs are all in a state of perpetual flux. We are not solid, static entities. We are processes. We are verbs, not nouns. The body you inhabit is a miracle of temporary, a constellation of causes and conditions that have come together for a short time. Think of a single leaf on a tree in autumn. It emerges green and full of life. It dances in the summer wind. It turns a brilliant gold or a fiery red, and then it lets go. It falls. It returns to the earth, becoming nourishment for future life. Is the fall of the leaf a tragedy, or is it the graceful completion of a cycle, an essential part of the forest's life? Our bodies follow the same law. We experience birth, growth, vitality, and, inevitably, we experience aging, sickness, and death. The modern world teaches us to fear this process, to fight it. We are sold the illusion of permanent youth, permanent health, permanent control. But this is a war against reality itself, a war we can never win. And it is this fight, this resistance to the natural flow of life, that is the source of so much of our anxiety and fear. The Zen path does not ask us to be morbid. It asks us to be realistic. It asks us to look deeply, with courage and honesty, at the nature of our own bodies, to feel the breath entering and to feel the breath leaving. Each breath is a small lesson in impermanence. The in-breath, a moment of receiving life. The out-breath, a moment of letting go. We do this thousands of times a day, unconsciously. The practice is simply to become conscious of it, to see the body not as a solid possession to be preserved, but as a temporary gift to be experienced, to be cared for, and ultimately, to be released. When you can look at the lines on your face, or feel the ache in your joints, not with despair, but with a kind of gentle acceptance, you begin to touch a freedom that is not dependent on circumstances. You are aligning yourself with the truth of the river, and in that alignment, there is a profound and unshakable peace. You stop fighting the current, and you learn to float. Now, turn your attention inward, to the landscape of the mind. If the body is a river, the mind is like the sky, and your thoughts, your emotions, your moods are like the weather. Some days the sky is clear, vast, and blue. These are moments of peace, joy, and clarity. Other days, clouds gather. Some are light and wispy, fleeting thoughts that drift by without notice. Others are dark, heavy, thunderous storm clouds. These are our moments of anger, grief, fear, and anxiety. We make a fundamental mistake. We believe we times the weather. When anger arises, we say, "I am angry." When sadness washes over us, we say, "I am sad." We identify so completely with the passing storm that we forget we are the sky. The sky does not cling to the sunshine, nor does it try to push away the storm. It simply allows the weather to be what it is, to arise, to manifest, and to pass away in its own time. A storm may rage for an hour, or a day. But has the storm ever harmed the sky? The sky remains vast, open, and untouched. This is the essence of Zen mindfulness, to cultivate the quality of the sky within our own awareness, to observe the weather of the mind without becoming entangled in it. A thought is just a thought. It is not a fact. It is a momentary pattern of energy, a mental event. It arises from causes and conditions. Like a cloud forming in the atmosphere, it has no solid, independent existence. Yet we give our thoughts so much power. We build entire identities around them. We construct stories about who we are, who others are, how the world should be, and then we suffer when reality doesn't match our stories. The practice of meditation, particularly zazen or sitting meditation, is the training ground for this skill. You sit and you simply watch. You watch the thoughts as they come and go. You feel the emotions as they rise and fall, like waves on the ocean. The instruction is not to stop the thoughts. That is impossible. Trying to stop your thoughts is like trying to flatten the waves with an iron. It only creates more agitation. The instruction is to simply notice, without judgment. When a difficult memory appears, you just note, memory. When a surge of anxiety tightens your chest, you just observe. This is the feeling of anxiety. You are not denying it. You are not suppressing it. You are also not feeding it with more stories. You are simply allowing it to be, giving it the space to exist. And in doing so, you allow it the space to dissolve. This is a radical act in a world that encourages us to either indulge or repress our every feeling. This middle way of mindful observation is a path to true inner strength. You realize that you are not the fleeting emotion. You are the silent, spacious awareness in which the emotion appears. This changes everything. The fear of fear begins to dissolve. The anger at being angry fades away. You develop an inner stability, an equanimity that is not shaken by the passing weather of your mind. You are the sky, and you have room for it all. So, if impermanence is the natural law of the body and mind, why do we suffer? The suffering does not come from the change itself. It comes from our resistance to the change. It comes from a deep, instinctual habit of the mind. The habit of clinging. The Pali word for this is upadana, which translates as grasping or attachment. Imagine you are a child on the beach. You see the beautiful, wet sand, and you decide to build a magnificent castle. You pour all your energy and love into it. You build towers and walls and a moat. It is your perfect creation, and for a moment, you are filled with pride and joy. But the beach is a place of impermanence. The tide is coming in. You see the water begin to lick at the edges of your castle. And now, a choice arises. You can watch the water. You can understand that this is the nature of the ocean, and you can appreciate the beauty of your castle for the time it existed, letting it go with a sense of peace. Or, you can panic. You can try to build the walls higher, desperately scooping sand to fight the incoming waves. You can scream at the ocean. You can feel anger, frustration, and despair as your beautiful creation inevitably dissolves back into the sand. The waves are not malicious. The tide is not your enemy. The suffering comes entirely from your attempt to make something temporary, permanent. This is the story of our lives. We build sandcastles of our experiences, our relationships, our identities, and our bodies. We fall in love, and we cling to that person, fearing the day that they might change or leave us. We achieve success, and we cling to that status. Terrified of failure, we experience a moment of perfect health and vitality, and we cling to it. Dreading the natural process of aging and decay, we hold on to a specific image of ourselves. I am a strong person. I am an intelligent person. And when life presents a situation where we feel weak or confused, our sandcastle of identity is threatened, and we suffer. This clinging is subtle. It pervades everything. We cling to pleasant sensations, wanting them to last forever. We cling to our opinions, our beliefs, defending them as if our very life depended on them. We even cling to our own suffering, replaying painful memories over and over, reinforcing an identity as a victim, because even a painful identity feels more solid than no identity at all. The mind desperately seeks solid ground in a world that is fundamentally like water. It wants to grasp, to own, to control, but the nature of reality is flow. The pain is not in the letting go. The pain is in the holding on. The wisdom of Buddhism and Zen is not to stop building sandcastles. Life is for building, for loving, for creating. The wisdom is to build them with the full knowledge that the tide is coming in, to enjoy the process of creation, to love the beauty of the form, but to not attach your ultimate happiness or sense of self to its permanence. You build with an open hand, not a clenched fist. And when the wave comes, as it always will, you can smile, you can let it go, and be ready to build again. The other side of this coin, the shadow of attachment, is aversion. If attachment is pulling what you like towards you, aversion is pushing what you dislike away from you. Both are forms of resistance, two sides of the same struggle against what is. You stand in the river of life, and you try to push away the cold water, the sharp rocks, the unpleasant currents. It is an exhausting and ultimately futile battle. We are conditioned to believe that happiness is the absence of all discomfort, so we spend our lives in a constant project of avoidance. In the body, this aversion is obvious. We feel a physical pain, a headache, a backache, and our first reaction is to resist it. We tense up around the sensation. I don't want this. This mental resistance, this tensing, does not remove the pain. In fact, it adds a second layer of suffering on top of it. There is the primary pain, the raw physical sensation, and then there is the secondary suffering. Our mental and emotional reaction times the sensation, the fear, the frustration, the story of, why is this happening to me? Often, this secondary suffering is far worse than the original pain. The Zen practice of scanning the body invites us to do something radical, to meet the pain with awareness, not with resistance, to breathe into the sensation, to explore its qualities, its texture, its borders, without the label of bad, without the story, just to feel it as pure energy. When you stop fighting the sensation, something remarkable happens. It often loses its power over you. The same is true for our minds. We have an aversion to so-called negative emotions, sadness, jealousy, boredom, fear. When they arise, we immediately try to get rid of them. We distract ourselves with entertainment. We numb ourselves with food or drink. We scroll endlessly on our phones. We do anything to avoid sitting with the discomfort. But an emotion that is resisted is an emotion that persists. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes enormous energy. And the moment you relax your grip, it shoots up with even greater force. The emotions you push away don't disappear. They get stored in the body as tension. They manifest as unexplainable anxiety, as a short temper, as a pervasive feeling of unease. The path of wisdom is to allow these emotions to be messengers, to turn towards them with curiosity, to ask, what is this feeling here to teach me? To allow the wave of sadness to wash over you, knowing that like all waves, it will recede. To feel the heat of anger without acting on it. Simply observing it as a powerful energy. This is not weakness. This is the highest form of courage. It is the strength to be present with your own life, in its entirety, not just the sunny days, but the stormy ones too. When you stop pushing the river, you free up an immense amount of energy. The energy that was spent on resistance can now be used for compassionate action, for creativity, for living more fully. You realize that peace is not the absence of rocks in the river. Peace is the ability to navigate the river, rocks and all, with skill and an open heart. But let's pause here and be very clear. Embracing impermanence is not a call for passivity. It is not an excuse for resignation or apathy. This is a common misunderstanding, a shadow that can fall upon the path. To say everything is changing is not to say nothing matters, so I will do nothing. This is a profound misinterpretation. The truth is the exact opposite. Because this moment is fleeting, because it will never come again in exactly the same way, it is infinitely precious. This moment is the only one you have. And so, it matters immensely how times you engage with it. Imagine a skilled sailor on the open ocean. The sailor does not control the wind. She cannot command the waves. She does not dictate the tide. The ocean is a vast, powerful, and unpredictable force of impermanence. A foolish sailor would either curse the wind for not blowing in her favor, or she would simply drop the sails, give up, and drift wherever the currents take her. This is resignation. But a wise sailor, a Zen sailor, accepts the reality of the wind and the waves. She does not fight them. She studies them. She feels the direction of the wind on her skin. She watches the patterns of the swells. And then, with skill and wisdom, she adjusts her sails. She works times with times the forces of nature, not against them. She uses the power of the very wind that could overwhelm her to guide her vessel toward her chosen destination. This is acceptance in action. It is an intelligent, dynamic, and courageous engagement with reality. You do not control the chaos of the world, the actions of others, or the inevitable aging of your body. These are the winds and the waves. But you can always adjust your sails. Your sails are your attention, your intention, your attitude, and your actions in this present moment. This is the source of true agency and inner strength. It is the freedom to choose your response, regardless of the circumstance. So you can still have goals. You can still make plans. You can still work passionately for a better world. But you do so with the wisdom of the sailor. You hold your plans lightly. You pour your heart into your work, but you release your attachment to the outcome. You understand that you can do everything right, adjust your sails perfectly, and a sudden squall can still appear on the horizon. When this happens, you don't see it as a personal failure. You don't despair. You see it as the nature of the ocean, and you get to work, adjusting your sails once again to meet the new conditions. This is resilience. This is strength that does not break, because it is flexible. It is a peace that is not dependent on calm seas, but is found in the very skill of navigating the storm. Now let us take this reflection one step deeper, to the heart of the matter. If the body is a constantly changing river of cells, and the mind is a constantly changing sky of thoughts and emotions, then who, or what, is the I that is observing all of this? Where is the solid, permanent self that we feel we are? This is perhaps the most radical and liberating inquiry in all of Buddhist philosophy. The teaching of no self, or times anatta, asterisk. This idea can be frightening at first. It sounds like annihilation, like nothingness. But it is not about destroying the self. It is about seeing through an illusion. We have a deeply ingrained feeling of being a separate me inside this body. A little pilot sitting behind the eyes, pulling the levers, thinking the thoughts, feeling the emotions. We believe this me is a constant, a solid thing that has existed since our birth. But if you go looking for it, can you find it? Is it in your thoughts? But thoughts come and go. They are not you. Is it in your feelings? But feelings rise and fall. They are not you. Is it in your body? But the body is in constant flux. It is not a fixed you. The more you look, the more you realize that the self is not a noun, but a verb. It is a process, a pattern of habits, memories, and conditioning that we bundle together and label me. It is like a wave on the ocean. The wave has a distinct form for a time. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. You can point to it and say, that is a wave. But is the wave separate from the ocean? Or is its true nature simply water. The wave is a temporary manifestation, a movement times the ocean. In the same way, you are not a separate entity fighting against the universe. You are a temporary manifestation, a movement times the universe. This is not a loss. It is a profound homecoming. The source of our deepest suffering, our clinging and our aversion, comes from this false sense of a separate self. It is the separate me that feels threatened, that needs to possess, that fears its own end. It is the me that feels lonely, isolated, and disconnected. When the illusion of the separate self begins to soften, so does the suffering. The fear of death diminishes because you see that what you truly are, this awareness, this life energy, was never born and will never die. It simply changes form, like a wave returning to the ocean. The desperate need for validation from others lessens because your sense of worth is no longer tied to a fragile, constructed ego, and a natural compassion arises. When the hard boundary between self and other dissolves, you see yourself in everyone. Their joy is your joy. Their suffering is your suffering. The fierce protection of me and mine gives way to a spacious sense of interconnectedness. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean. In a drop. This is the ultimate peace, the ultimate strength. It is the freedom that comes from realizing you have nothing to defend and nothing to lose. So how do we bring this profound understanding into the grit and rhythm of our daily lives? How do we find this peace? Not on a quiet mountaintop, but in a crowded city, a stressful job, a difficult relationship. The answer is beautifully simple, though not always easy. You practice. Moment by moment by moment. You transform the mundane into the sacred. The Zen masters teach that there is no separation between meditation and life. Life itself is the meditation hall. When you are washing the dishes, just wash the dishes. Don't be in the past, rehashing an argument. Don't be in the future, worrying about your to-do list. Be there, with the dishes. Feel the warmth of the water on your hands. See the shimmering dance of the soap bubbles. Hear the sound of the plate against the porcelain sink. In that moment, there is no anxiety. There is no clinging. There is only the simple, profound reality of washing. This is not about being slow. It is about being present. When you are walking, just walk. Feel the soles of your feet connecting with the earth. Notice the subtle shift of balance in your body with each step. Feel the air on your skin. Each step can be an affirmation of your presence, a return to the here and now. When you are listening to someone, truly listen. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Don't just filter their words through your own opinions and judgments. Offer them the gift of your full, undivided attention. This is a practice of compassion, of letting go of the ego's need to be the center of the story. This approach to life is called beginner's mind. It is the practice of seeing everything as if for the first time. When you see your partner, can you see them now, in this moment, without the heavy overlay of every memory and past grievance? When you taste your morning coffee, can you really taste it, as if you have never tasted coffee before? This is the cultivation of wisdom. Wisdom is not the accumulation of complex philosophical ideas. It is the ability to see reality clearly, without the filters of our conditioned mind. And this is where true strength is born, the strength to be with what is. When a difficult emotion like anger arises, you don't have to be swept away by it. You can meet it with the practice. You can pause, take a breath, and feel the physical sensations of the anger in your body, the heat, the tension, the rapid heartbeat. You bring a beginner's mind to your own anger. By observing it without reacting, you create a space. And in that space, you have a choice. You are no longer a slave to your habitual reactions. You are grounded in the present moment. And from this stable ground, you can respond to the situation with clarity and wisdom, rather than blind reactivity. This is the synthesis of body and mind in action. And from this synthesis, something beautiful and essential blossoms: compassion. When you have looked deeply into the impermanent nature of your own body and mind, when you have seen the ways in which your own heart clings and pushes away, creating its own suffering, you cannot help but look at others with a new sense of tenderness. You see that the person who cut you off in traffic, the colleague who spoke harshly to you, the family member who doesn't understand you, they too are a river of changing sensations, a sky of fleeting thoughts. They too are driven by the deep habits of attachment and aversion. They too are building sandcastles, terrified of the tide. Their anger, their fear, their arrogance is not a solid, personal failing. It is a manifestation of their own suffering, their own confusion about the nature of reality. Seeing this does not mean you condone harmful actions. It does not mean you become a doormat, but it changes your inner response. The fire of personal reactivity is dampened by the cool water of understanding. The tight knot of judgment in your chest begins to loosen. You see that their struggle is your struggle. The boundary between self-care and caring for others begins to dissolve. You understand that acting with kindness, patience, and forgiveness is not just a gift to them, it is a gift to yourself. It is the release of a heavy burden. The inner strength you cultivate is no longer a hard, brittle armor designed to protect a fragile ego. It becomes a flexible resilience. Like bamboo, it can bend with the fierce winds of life, but it does not break. The wisdom you cultivate is not a cold, detached intellect. It becomes a warm, embodied understanding, the wisdom of the heart. It is the realization that your own peace is intimately interwoven with the peace of all beings. This is the ultimate fruit of the path. To see the body and mind in the light of impermanence is to see the world with new eyes. You stop fighting the river, you learn to swim with the current, and you realize, with a quiet joy, that the river was never your enemy. It was always, and only, carrying you home. The truth is simple. You cannot hold on to the river. You can only let it flow through you. Open your hands. Let go of the struggle. In that release is not emptiness, but everything. The peace you seek is not in a distant future or a perfected self. It is here, in the gentle flow of this moment, in the rhythm of this breath. Breathe in, breathe out. This is enough.